All right, everyone, welcome back into another NBA props video. Give me a touchdown on the top prop bets that we have on both Underdog and Prize Picks today. I do just want to start out with showing you guys the best EV bets that we are currently getting right now. These are actually some bets that I have already made. So Eric Carlson over 2.5 shots on goal is one that I like. Troy Terry under shots on goal is also going to be a good one. Jalen Hurts under rushing attempts. The only worry that I have there is going to be that the projection data likes them to get 10. We got Vince Dunn for under 2 shots on goal. All in all, I don't feel the need to bet that one. That one's being favored as a push. But as you guys can see, we are getting some decent EV base bets. We can see Jason Myers for under 6.5 kicking points is a good one. That was kind of one that I mentioned on yesterday's NFL video as really the only good potential EV bet that we had. So yeah, we got a good starting point. I want to get into Underdog as well, just so you guys can see that. Eric Carlson again is one that's popping up. That's really the best one that we currently have on Underdog. Well, actually I did a data refresh, and so we are getting some other ones as well. Paul George for over 5.5 rebounds. We can see the projection data likes that. Dante Exum for over 7.5 rebounds and assists. Data doesn't exactly like that. Jalen Brunson over 3.5 assists. So guys, we are getting some pretty good bets to start the day. That's very nice. But as always, I want to get into the game-by-game breakdown for NBA, so let's go ahead and get into it. So looking at it, we got the Clippers versus the Pacers, another high-scoring game for the Pacers, right? They're all going to be 3-point spread, 240, 4 or so for the over and under. Looking at the injury report, the Clippers are pretty much good to go. Looking at the Pacers, we have Halliburton as a game time decision. That's going to matter. If he says we're probably looking at TJ McConnell to really have a big increase in usage, as well as Bruce Brown, as well as Benedict Mathurin. Now, guys, I would guess the reason why we are getting props for that, or sorry, we're not getting any props for that, but the reason why we're getting the line at that close of a game is I'm going to assume that they're expecting Tyrese Halliburton to play. Now, looking at the projected starting lineup, it is close, like game time decision truly. So that line could be vastly wrong if Halliburton does sit. And if he does sit, I think we know what to expect. Now, last game, TJ McConnell did not have his best game, and really the Pacers got blown out in that game. Still played 26 minutes, really dominated. On a point per minute basis, he is the player that really sees the biggest bump. And with Halliburton off the court, we see that TJ McConnell has a 24% usage rate, averages 51 fantasy points per 36, averages 19.5 points, 6.2 rebounds, 12.3 assists, 2 steals per 36. So yeah, he just really goes off. He would be a good sort of fantasy score prop with or when we get that. So I think that'd be the route that we could go. That being said, I do find it interesting. Benedict Mathurin also has a big increase in his usage. Mathurin is someone that only played 23 minutes, did get up 11 shot attempts though, which he does average about 4 more shot attempts. So yeah, that game blew out. Yeah, Vegas is thinking that this game isn't going to blow out. So yeah, Tyrese Halliburton is probably expected to play, but if we get some props for the Pacers, we could probably gain a big edge by potentially chasing some good lines, kind of game scripting Halliburton to be out. And all in all, if those don't work out, it's kind of okay. You knew kind of the risk going into it. Aaron Naismith is also someone that really does benefit as well. He averages also 4 more shot attempts, 6 actual points per 36. Not too many more rebounds, not too many more assists. Actually sees a decrease in assists, but really the points go up for Aaron Naismith, as does the whole team. So I think that is something we could potentially be looking at for that squad. Now on the flip side of that, we do have the Clippers, and we are getting some prop bets for the Clippers, which again, a little bit shocking. We are seeing Paul George for over 5.5 rebounds on Underdog is currently the best bet that we are getting, but we also are seeing all the other props for him make sense as well. Points and rebounds, points and assists, really whichever one you want to go with. And we also have Zubac for over points and rebounds as well as a decent one, but let's concentrate on those Paul George props, which are going to be the best ones that we are currently getting. So Paul George, obviously in games that stay close, that's going to help him out a lot more. You look at this game, 31 minutes in that game, 4 rebounds. You know, you give him a little bit extra run, he probably gets that over. We can see averages 5.5 or 5.8 on the season. So for him to get over 5.8 in a game that's supposed to be a pace spot with more shots up, that is something that I like. But at the same time, points and rebounds can be fine as well. We can see all the data pretty much suggests that this is going to be very close for him. But all in all, I think that this is the correct line. I don't think we're worried about him having a good game. I think we should expect him to have a good game. And then, yeah, looking at Zubac, as long as he's going to be playing a lot of minutes in this good matchup, I don't mind his points and rebounds as well. I think that that's a good line that we're getting at 22.5. I still see that as an edge. You know, he's going to get around 30 minutes, good matchup, good pace up spot. He's going to have to guard Miles Turner. So all in all, I think he's going to be a good prop bet for us. Now moving on to the next game, we got the Bulls versus the Sixers, an 11-point spread. I mean, that is crazy. 227.5 is going to be the over and under. Looking at the injury report, Caruso game time decision, Zach LaVine still out, so we're probably just banking on Kobe White again. Looking at the Sixers, okay, the Sixers are healthy, so they should be easier to predict. hopefully, right? So we go ahead and look at it, guys. We just got some Kobe White props over 31.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And to me, that line is simply too low. Kobe White has been someone that I personally have been going out of my way to bet on a bunch. Sure, the game total does worry me. The fact that they could get blown out, the fact that the line is 10 points, that's a lot. And so, you know, his minutes that we're hoping that he's going to get tonight, those could be smaller than they typically are. We have seen him get massive minutes, so 39, 40, 34 in that game. That game was a blowout. Might not show up score wise, but it was 45. I mean, he has just been getting such heavy minutes, guys, basically 39 minutes per game. So as long as this game stays close, he should, I don't want to say easily be able to get that over, but really he should easily be able to get that over. Now, I don't get why the projection data doesn't like the over there. I think 31.5, we should be betting the over there. I feel pretty good about that on Underdog. So we are getting some pretty good prop bets. From there, we see this one. We are getting some lines for Kobe White on PrizePicks now. You could do points and rebounds. I don't mind that. You know, again, we look at the game log. He has been scoring a ton. He could get to that just in points. You tack on some rebounds as well. That's awesome. He has been an assist machine as well. So all in all, I like the lines that we're getting on Kobe White. It really is up to you guys which one you like the most. Heck, points and assists to only be one higher than rebounds. That's another, you know, kind of line that I like as well. I do want to call Patrick Williams at 4.5 rebounds. You know, if we're betting on this game staying close like we could be, I would say Patrick Williams has a great chance to get over 4.5 rebounds. Really just needs to get 32 or so minutes, and I think we have a good chance at doing that. All in all, yes, we are worried about the potential blowout. Let's go ahead and take a peek at the Philadelphia Sixers props that we are getting for this game. And like I said, it's nice that we don't have any injury news because we should know what to expect with this team. Now, I do want to call it the two best prop bets that we are getting are Batum and also D'Anthony Melton. The concern that I have with someone like Melton is that with everyone healthy, and sure, they've been blowing out teams, that's also kind of a concern for me as well. But with them blowing out teams and with everyone healthy, we're really thin on Melton's minutes. And so to me, until players are ruled out or until games are projected to stay close, I don't really want to be touching these lines that we're getting now. 2.5 assists is really not much. Again, if that game stays close, you should be able to get that over. We can see 3.5 assists on the season. I am seeing maybe a potential stacking opportunity in this game. Let's take a peek at Nick Batum. So Batum is someone that we saw prop bet wise we could potentially be on as well. But again, with him, minutes is also a concern. So that's why we're getting this low line for points, 4.5 points. He's not going to be someone that gets more minutes. Like, his minutes are capped. Again, with everyone healthy, with these games being blowouts, and with this one projected to be a blowout, we can't really bank on that. So the only other logical prop bet that we could be on would be potentially Joel Embiid for under 12.5 rebounds. Again, what we'd be looking for with a bet like that is for the game to blow out and for Embiid to not get that much run. Now, he has been crushing guys. To me, this one feels too thin, and that's what the day is telling us by giving it a 53.4% chance to hit. All in all, I don't know if we need to touch that. I will say Batum for points, rebounds, and assists. That one's okay. I like that better than the points prop. But with that, let's go ahead and get into the next game because, yeah, we're not getting the best props. We got the Cavs versus the Rockets, a 4.5 point spread, 213 for the over and under. Looking at the injury report, pretty good to go are the Rockets. Looking at the Cavs, yeah, they're pretty banged up right now. So we got Evan Mobley out, we got Garland out, Rubio still out, and Ty Jerome still out as well. And so we should be getting prop bets for both these teams. Let's go and take a peek. I'm mostly interested in the Cavs. And guys, I'm starting out with Underdog because they give us the lines a lot earlier for most of the players than does PrizePicks. As you can see by the, okay, I'm going to go ahead and touch on PrizePicks as well. This is just kind of giving you guys the full slate break. So right now we are getting a lot of Donovan Mitchell props where the overs are all being favored. We need it, and that's really all we're getting right now for Underdog at least. Jared Allen we're probably looking as well, but I want to touch on Donovan Mitchell because he should see a bump in usage with those players off the court. So yes, with Garland off the court, Donovan Mitchell only averages 26, with Garland and also Jared Allen, Evan Mobley off the court, he averages 26 points per 36. So that might not be the best prop bet that we want to go in on. This was one that I did bet earlier on last night, 11.5 for over rebounds and assists for Donovan Mitchell. You look at his per 36 production, averages 7.3 rebounds, 6.4 assists, so a little bit too thin at 12. All in all, I don't mind that one. Rebounds you could roll with, again, probably a little bit too thin. Averages 7.3 per 36. And really, the lines that we're getting on Donovan Mitchell probably don't need to go in on. He does average 6 more 3-ball attempts per 36. Sorry, I read that wrong. averages 6 3-ball attempts per 36, which is actually down. So I don't know if we want to touch that. Max Strus does get a big bump in production, and maybe he's the one that we'd want to go with. Now the matchup isn't the best against Houston for him. He averages 16.6 points per 36. Might not get 36 minutes, might be closer to 34, but all in all, I think we're okay with that. Averages 6.1 rebounds, so a slight increase there. Same assist, you know, all in all, he's okay. I think we can count on him like being productive, maybe in a game stack opportunity for you guys. And then Levert, he is so hit or miss. I don't know if I really want to touch him, but he does averages 22.2 points per 36. We can see when he's on, he's probably going to get those minutes. When he's not on, they're going to look elsewhere. And then just talking about Jared Allen as well, because I think we need to break that down. With Evan Mobley off the court, Jared Allen has been getting more minutes recently, so I think we can bank on those minutes being there. That's good. He averages 15.8 points per 36, so, you know, if his line's lower than his average there, definitely take that over. And then looking at rebounds, averages 13.2 rebounds per 36, 10 defensive rebounds for what that's worth. I know PrizePicks gives us that prop occasionally. He averages 39.4 fantasy points per 36. So all in all, Jared Allen should be someone that we're looking at prop bet wise once those lines come out. And the reason why they're probably not giving us to those right now is because they don't know how to properly value those. And surprisingly, we're not getting any prop bets for Houston as well. I'm not exactly sure why. Houston should be kind of easier to figure out. Maybe it's the fact that Tari Eason has been playing really well on a limited minutes basis. I'm not really sure. Jabari Smith has been playing pretty well as well on a limited minute basis. Now they kind of have a game in which they should be staying close. And I know Cleveland's kind of a pace down spot. Sangoon, they're probably trying to figure out whether he or not he's going to have a good game. I guess all in all, it doesn't really matter. That's probably just a stay away at this point because we don't have any of those lines. So let's go ahead and move on into the next game here, guys. We got Charlotte versus the Raptors and 11 points. Exactly. Love that, Dewey. 225 is going to be the over and under. Looking at the injury report, they are so banged up. We're not going to get props on Charlotte, and I'm not going to be able to break it down for you guys. We're probably not going to get any props for Toronto as well because of that. Mark Williams, game time decision. Gordon Hayward, game time decision. PJ Washington, game time decision. Martin's out. Frank Ntilikina is still out. And then also Terry Rozier, game time decision. So it's very, I can't really give you guys a breakdown of if those guys sit, right? It's very difficult. Obviously, Brandon Miller would see a massive increase in usage, and so would Miles Bridges. Those two should be able to go off. All in all, Charlotte is a matchup that we do want to attack opposing bigs against. So maybe Joachim Pearl, someone that we're looking at, or Pascal Siakam. But we are getting some Toronto props. We're not going to get Charlotte props, so I can almost guarantee that. So Toronto-wise, guys, we're seeing Scotty Barnes. We're getting that. I'm okay with that. If this line was still at 6.5, which obviously it's not for Pascal Siakam, I would have loved the over there at 6.5. Just because, again, the matchup with Charlotte, I would have thought that he would have had a great chance to get that over. So probably a little bit too thin now. And really all the prop bets that we're getting here, probably a little bit too thin right now. Maybe we're looking at fantasy score props for them. Again, against Charlotte, that's a good match. So now moving on into the next game here, we got the Timberwolves versus the Heat. Probably a fun game for for NBA, potential playoff previews. I kind of like that. 1.3 is going to be the over and under, or the spread. Looking at the over and under, 217.6, so not that great. We do have Kyle Lowry listed as out, which is big. But what's the other piece of news that we got there? Tyler Hero is back. How many minutes is he going to play? Probably not a lot. Tough to really gauge there. And we also have Bam back as well. How many minutes is he going to play? Tough to tell. But all in all, nice to have those two back. I'm going to operate on the assumption that they're not going to get that many minutes. And so with that, we're probably looking at Josh Richardson maybe starting at point or getting a lot of minutes at point with Kyle Lowry out. He played in their last game. Last time we saw this situation with Hero and Bam off the court, it was Josh Richardson starting at point. So that is going to be my expectation. All in all, we don't know for sure. It's going to be tough to gauge. Now, I do just want to take a peek at what the data tells us happens. And yeah, we're not getting those lines yet because we don't know the minutes for Miami. But what the data tells us for when Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry, and Bam are off the court. Because again, I think we could see those players have their minutes limited. The player that gets the most minutes is actually Jaime Jaquez. Averages 19.8 points, 5.8 rebounds, 4.6 assists. He's just a solid fantasy producer, and I do think that those minutes are going to continue to be there for him. All in all, he's probably the one player that we should be able to trust the most. So if his props guys are at his averages, I think that's kind of worth the risk of, and I say risk because we don't know the minutes on Hero or Bam just yet, guessing that they're still going to be limited. So I'm guessing that Jaquez is still going to have his minutes be there. And so if they are, And if his points is kind of close to his average, bet the over. Same thing with these, bet the over rebounds and bet the over assists if they're close to the averages, because on all the data tells us that he should be able to crush. On all the data tells us that his lines should be closer to these ones. So he should be a player that we like tonight. And then, yeah, after that, it is Josh Richardson. Doesn't have the highest usage rate, so probably not someone that we really need to bank on. And then Caleb Martin actually has a pretty high usage rate. I think it's noteworthy. 25.9% usage rate. We can see he has been someone that's been productive, averages 22 points per 36 with Hero, with Lowry, and with Bam off the court. So again, if Hero and Bam are going to have their minutes limited with Lowry off the court, Caleb Martin should be able to crush. Really should be. Averages 7.2 rebounds, averages 3 assists. So all in all, he gets a massive bump with those players off the court, or obviously if they're not playing them. So again, we're not going to get those prop bets just yet for them because we don't know the minutes on those players. And then with Minnesota, yeah, we're not getting any prop bets for them just yet. Kind of waiting on news for Ant-Man there. And so if Ant-Man were to sit, I do think we could be looking at Towns to have a massive increase in usage. And then obviously if Bam's off the court, him and Rudy Gobert should be able to have a good game. Again, I'm mentioning that because if Bam's minutes are still limited, that could be big. But that's why we're not getting those props, those two reasons. Looking at the next game, we got OKC versus the Grizz, 10.5 point spread. Looking at the over and under, 228.5. So not terrible, but obviously we don't like the game being a potential blowout. We do know that Luke Kennard and Derrick Rose are out, Marcus Smart out, so they're going to have a lot of their point guard minutes available. And so it's tough to say. We have seen Gilliard get some minutes, but all in all, I don't think we want to be banking on him to be productive. It's probably just going to be Desmond Bane with a massive usage rate. And we have seen that the last few games, guys. 25 shot attempts, 20 shot attempts, lots of rebounds, lots of assists. He'd be the player that I think we would want to go on the most. He's the one player that we can trust the most. And so let's take a peek. Are we getting any good Memphis props? I actually don't mind the rebounds and assists. I don't mind the points. I want to take a peek at the points, rebounds, and assists for Desmond Bane. 38.5 against OKC. You know, all in all, if you were to bet that over, you'd be betting on the game to stay close. I don't mind that. On probably tiny bit too thin, but I do think he has a great chance to get that over. So one bet I like as well that we are seeing on the board right now is Vince Williams Jr. for over 6.5 rebounds. We can see that he has been getting minutes recently. So at that line, I feel pretty good about it because I do think the usage is going to continue to be there for him in this situation. Looking at OKC, guys, it's going to be pretty simple. We got Chet Holmgren for over 8.5 rebounds. He does get a pretty good matchup. I'm perfectly fine betting that over. I don't feel the need to touch on that further. That is our best prop bet that we are getting, or one of the best prop bets that we are currently getting today. By all means, I'm okay with rolling with that one. And so moving on to the next game, we got the Nets versus the Jazz, a game in which I do think there's going to be some kind of stacking opportunities here. 3.5 point spread, 233.5 is the over and under. Looking at it right now, the Nets, they're kind of ish healthy. I will say if DFS is out, I do think that actually has some implications for Nick Claxton's minutes. We have seen DFS actually be the backup center occasionally for the Nets. We also do need to get news on the two bigs for Utah. Now, we do know that Lauri Markkanen is back, but if John Collins, if really all these bigs sit, that's going to mean a lot more minutes to go to Lauri Markkanen. Keontae George and also Jordan Clarkson are going to be out as well. And so what that's telling me for Utah is that Lauri Markkanen really should have a high usage rate. Now, we need this game to stay close, and based off the line that we are getting, they do expect this game to stay close. And all in all, I do think Utah could be someone that we're looking to have some productive games. All in all, Colin Sexton has been someone that has really been dominating recently, guys. No shock there. We can see shot attempts wise in the same situation as well. It makes sense. 18 shot attempts, 17 shot attempts, 18 shot attempts. And it's not like he shot the ball extremely well, but it's also not like he shot the ball poorly as well. That's a good thing, I think. So for something like points and rebounds, I don't mind. Points at 21.5, I actually really don't mind as well. Like, he is going to get those shot attempts. This is not a stay away matchup. It's also not one in which you would typically be attacking as well. I know it has the 24th ranked opponent ranked there, but all in all, I think we kind of know this matchup as a whole. And so I'm fine with that. I think he's going to be someone we're looking at. Fontecchio was someone that really was getting some low prop lines for a while with Markkanen and John Collins off the court. Now we don't need to worry about that. But really the only lines that we're getting right now are Colin Sexton. And so for the points, I don't mind. We can say this is going to be a much better bet on one of the sports books where, you know, it's going to have a better payout. So yeah, a better bet there. If you want to do points, rebounds, and assists, I'm also okay with it. Let's take a peek at Brooklyn. Brooklyn, we're getting a full allotment of props. We can see we're not getting any great like EV bets. Kind of surprising. It seems like each day there's always one Brooklyn Nets player that's being undervalued undervalued. Yesterday, it actually ended up being Cam Thomas throughout the day, or 2 days ago, I think it was. Right now, we're not getting that. And so I did mention, I do think Nick Claxton has a good chance to maybe get some slight minutes bump, but all in all, the prop lines that we're getting on him are pretty high. So let's go ahead and move on into the next game here. We got Dallas versus Denver, 7.5 point spread, kind of high scoring game, 238.5. Love that. Aaron Gordon and also Jamal Murray being game time decisions are obviously huge. If those two sit, that really elevates Michael Porter Jr. the most. Reggie Jackson would also get a pretty big bump as well. Those would be the two players we'd be concentrating on the most. I would imagine either Christian Braun or Julian Strawthard would move on into the starting position if those two players are ruled out. We got to take a peek at the injury report, though. They are expected, so probably a moot point there. And looking at Dallas, they're still going to be without Kyrie Irving. That is a big piece of news, but they're also going to be without Derek Lively. It's obviously a huge piece of news. All in all, Nikola Jokic should really be able to have a good game. He should be able to feast. And so yesterday, some of the best prop bets that we were getting were Luka for over 9.5 rebounds, and then Nikola Jokic, I believe it was, for over 9.5 assists. That has since been bumped to 10, and we can see the average sportsbook line has actually bumped it up to 10.5. Now they're favoring the under there. So definitely interesting, the fluctuation that I've seen in that line. We are seeing Aaron Gordon for over points, rebounds, and assists at 23.5 is a good one. And then also Luka for this game. Let's just take a peek at both of those. So yes, Aaron Gordon is currently questionable, but he has been someone that was kind of banged up for a little bit there. His minutes were slightly limited, it seemed like, but now they're back to 30 minutes. And so if he's going to be playing 30 minutes, guys, I do think he has a great chance to hit this over, especially in this matchup that's a little bit more appealing. And so, yeah, I'm perfectly fine getting him behind that line. We can see the average sportsbook line actually has it set closer to 24, and they still would be favoring the over there. So that's why we're getting a good EV there for Aaron Gordon. And then also, let's take a peek at Luka Doncic. So Luka, rebounds is definitely an interesting one. He has been crushing rebounds this whole season, averaging 8.3 on the season. Going against Denver, maybe there's a few more shot attempts going up. Really, that would just be, to me, a bet on the game close. So let's go ahead and move on into, I believe, the last game on the slate. Let's check. Oh, no, we got two more. Okay, Washington versus the Kings. Not really a game with Washington. 12-point spread. 247.5 is the over and under. De'Aaron Fox, game time decision, he could sit simply because they are playing the Wizards and they can beat the Wizards without him. A lot of the Wizards players are currently game time decisions. We'll see. We actually aren't getting any Washington props because, well, they are just tough. They are tough to really gauge as to what we should be doing there. So also, I don't think we're getting any Kings props either. So yeah, I think we can just pass up on that game for now. Again, guys, kind of my strategy, I think, with Washington right now is kind of do a bet both ways. You know, if you're going to try to bet on them, bet on the game staying close. You could have some really strong bets by doing that, or bet on the game being a blowout. You could also have some pretty strong bets by doing that. Yesterday, like Gafford and Tyus Jones, I believe, crushed their overs simply because, well, obviously they were playing well, so the game stayed close, and then they were able to get their overs. That has worked vice versa as well. Looking at the last game, we got the Knicks versus Lakers, 4.5 point spread, 232 for the over and under. I have a lot of potential injuries. Anthony Davis sat out in the last game. I don't think we're worried about that in this one now. Mitchell Robinson is out, though, still for the Knicks. Oh, no, I don't really like the prop bets for this game, but we'll take a peek at the Lakers. And so looking at the Lakers right now, LeBron James under 7.5 assists is the best one. I'm fine with that. The odds of that have slightly adjusted down as the day has progressed, but still about a 54% chance for them to hit. I'm perfectly fine using that in a bet slip. And then looking at the Knicks, I don't know if we're getting any just yet. Let's see. Oh, yeah, we are. Yeah, we're getting some pretty good ones, actually. So Julius Randle over points and rebounds, Julius Randle over points, rebounds, and assists, and then also Jalen Brunson over rebounds. We also see RJ Barrett over points and rebounds. So really, I love that game for stacking purposes, especially for the New York Knicks. We saw Julius Randle. He has been someone that has been getting heavy minutes. And with Mitchell Robinson out, again, if this game stays close, he should be able to crush that over. I shouldn't say crush, but he should be able to get that over easily. And if that game does stay close, I do think it's going to be because RJ Barrett is having a good game shooting the basketball. And so him getting over 21.5 points and rebounds shouldn't be that difficult. And then we also see Jalen Brunson for over 3.5 rebounds is one that's popping up. I am perfectly fine with that. I am running that out in the game stack as well. He's gotten the over 3 straight games and really crushed the over in 3 straight games. So maybe there's something there. But with that, let's go and get into the bet of the day. I guess first I'll show you guys the best bets that we get in on PrizePicks. These are the two that I'm going to run out, guys. Luka for over, maybe. But Paul George definitely over points. I'm pretty good with running out. So we can see that's a pretty good bet there. We're getting a 0.5 point and they're still favoring the over at 0.5 point there. Now, I would include that on a bet slip for PrizePicks, but I'm assuming that's going to get updated. And we're just not getting the full board for PrizePicks just yet. You guys got my thoughts for this. I would say for me, my personal favorite bet right now is going to be Vince Williams right now going against OKC for over his rebounds. And then I do still think I like Colin Sexton for over his points there. I think that's a strong likelihood to happen. And then for what's worth on PrizePicks, maybe once they make it available, points, rebounds, and all right, so let's go and get into the PrizePicks bet of the day. I will be rolling with these two ones. You could attach the NHL prop bet, Nick or Eric Carlson for over 2.5 shots on goal. That's a pretty good one. All in all, this one could get bumped, but I don't know when it will, so that's kind of why I'm putting this one on there. Like the Paul George points prop at 22.5, I fully expect that one to get bumped probably by the time this release, so not worth putting on a bet slip for you guys. That's kind of the issue, right? And then Colin Sexton, better bet on DraftKings or FanDuel, you know, on a sportsbook or normal one, but I like this line. And then giving you guys an underdog bet slip of the day as well. Just a reminder, if you guys do use that bet slip, make sure to use the promo code 9to5. That'll give you guys a 100% match on a deposit of up to $100. Really, that's just going to kick back some money my way. It's a good way to help out the channel. And if you guys are doing it, might as well just use it anyways. And a lot of people have been using that lately. Again, I really appreciate that. That does not go unnoticed. But yeah, this is the best one right now. And I mentioned on the NFL video that I'd probably be posting some more there. We're not getting anyone. The Jason Myers under kicking points really got bumped, and that was about it. Jalen Hurts for under 8.5 rushing attempts was also one for a little bit, but that's not there anymore. So all in all, maybe not the best NFL day. So I'm very happy that we are getting some good NBA props. That is going to be all for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to give a like and subscribe. Hit that notification as well so you don't miss out on any of the good EV bets when I start the video. If you guys want access to the 9to5sports.com PrizePicks and Underdog cheat sheet, it is available for just $10 a month. Thanks for watching. Let's have a good slate. And as always, let's keep cashing.